be discussing about burnout, overachievers, silent cracking, and neurobiological resilience, and how solution-focused grief therapy can help you to regain your resilience, recharge, and to heal from burnout. I wanted to take a moment and think about how you've been feeling lately. Maybe you are someone who seems to have it all and you feel energized, you are thriving at work, checking off goals, handling responsibilities, but from outside, everyone sees you as unstoppable, very successful. And maybe you have noticed that no matter how much you accomplish, you still feel drained as if it's not enough. And maybe your thoughts never stop racing, or you feel anxious even when everything seems to be under control. And maybe you have some sleep challenges. It's difficult to stay asleep, and your body feels tense, or your small tasks feel overwhelming, even though you are performing at your best. And if this sounds familiar to you, you might be experiencing what experts call as high functioning anxiety, or in another terms, quiet cracking. Unlike classic burnout, you don't slow down and you don't take a visible step back. However, you keep delivering, smiling, and meeting expectations of other people. However, underneath, your nervous system is overloaded and your emotional reserves are depleted, and even your brain chemistry can be changed in ways that have been that might have lasting effects. And it's not a weakness, it's the hidden cost of high performance, the pressure to succeed quietly, taking a toll on your mental and physical health, often without anyone noticing. And in this webinar, we will be exploring how to recognize these early signs of burnout or highly functioning anxiety. And we will explain why your mind and your body react this way, neurobiological mechanisms behind it, and you will have a chance to ask yourself questions that might help you to succeed with healing, not decreasing your performance, but continuing to succeed, decreasing burnout symptoms. Burnout is a subtle erosion process that unfolds over months or even years. For instance, 12-stage burnout cycle defined by Herbert Fredenberger and Gal North reveals how this process is initially masked by positive or appreciated behaviors. For high-performing people, this journey usually begins with a drive to prove oneself, and at this stage, extreme ambition or determination are displayed, and behaviors rewarded by society and institutions at this stage are actually the first building blocks of a future collapse. Maybe you have noticed that many people are expecting a lot of things from high achievers or leaders, and this can also be one of the factors that leads them towards burnout. And as the process advances, the people begin to neglect their own personal needs. Maybe the belief I can solve every problem by working masks the signals of nervous system. And as conflicts shift, values are revised, and work becomes the sole source of life meaning, and the person loses their multidimensional selves. And this end quote of this erosion is full-scale burnout, characterized by physical, emotional, and mental collapse. And danger for high-performing people lies in the fact that the first seven stages of burnout culture are assumed as leadership qualities or high commitment. Therefore, it's difficult to notice those signs. For instance, people who are starting to experience burnout might have these signs. First of all, excessive ambition and striving to be indispensable, and their self-worth might be tied to achievement. They can refuse to rest, increasing workload because of fear of losing control, or maybe losing their job or reputation. And further, this might seem in the loss of sleep, overeating or eating less, and changes in social bonds, oftentimes seen as isolating any other relationships apart from work, or it can also seen in denial of biological limits, and further it can grow into ignoring problems, irritability, afterward defense mechanisms activate, and the person, for instance, might get angry easily or irritated or become hypersensitive, and slowly maybe they can stop enjoying things they used to enjoy, and stop doing hobbies, and work slowly becomes identified with identity. And in further stages, this can turn into blaming colleagues and environment, beginning of detaching from reality, and further it will be turned into isolation, shortcuts, use of alcohol or medications, and saving energy just for work. And further, like these are the first 7 stages of burnout, and it states that oftentimes it can be difficult for people to notice that they are experiencing burnout, because these are actually normal features that are seen in many high achievers. However, further, this might deteriorate their situation, and there can be noticeable personality changes, anger outbursts, chronic nervous system arousal, attention alienation from self and the world, and emotional blunting, feeling meaningless like an empty shell, and depletion of dopamine and serotonin. Further, it might turn into depression, hopelessness, fatigue, and physical and mental breakdowns. So the danger for high performing individuals lies in the fact that the first 7 stages are often interpreted by modern world as normal, and therefore it can, like sometimes it's quite late when people start to realize that they are experiencing burnout. So previously thrilling achievements may no longer evoke any feeling, and life might lose all its color. And these signs and warnings from nervous system, and yet high performers try to silence them by working harder or working overstyling, which accelerates the burnout scale. And you might feel like as long as you aren't tired, you are fine, and you might be telling to yourself, I can handle this, I'm performing well, so I must be okay. But here is the reality that feeling or lack of feeling is a biological error. Your nervous system may be stuck in chronic hypervigilance, and your HPA axis, the system that normally manages stress by turning on when you face a challenge and turning off when it's resolved, can get stuck. And in high performing people, it can stay switched on, keeping your body and mind constantly alert, even when you don't consciously feel stressed. That's why you might appear calm and productive on the outside, whereas your nervous system might quietly strain itself inside. And you might notice that even when life looks normal, you feel restless, tense, and constantly wired. Maybe you think, I shouldn't feel this way, I'm doing everything right. Maybe your sleep is disturbed, your mind won't switch off, or even small tasks might feel draining and overwhelming. And recognizing this is not a weakness, it's a sign that your body and mind needs more support. So if you were noticing that people around you are experiencing these symptoms, it can be a good idea to start to ask them, what do they need? What kind of support do they need? What can you do for them? What can be done in order to support, and how we can help to create any possible change, and what can be done differently. And think about moments when you have felt calm, for instance, energized or fully in control. Maybe it was a morning run, a quiet moment with a friend, or engaging project that didn't feel overwhelming. These are exceptions actually that show that your nervous system can relax and function differently, and that you already have access to moments of balance. So no matter how depressed or burnt out or how anxious the person is, there are some exceptions in the past, and asking yourself what are some times when you felt better, energized, fully in control, calm, can help to remind about sources of resilience and what might help the person to energize and to heal. And imagining a future when you can maintain high performers without this so much stress and burnout. Picturing yourself, for instance, if burnout has already decreased, and what do you think would be filling its place? What would you like to see instead uh, if burnout was less? Would you like to feel light, focused, energized? And how would your morning would feel? Would you feel calm and ready instead of tense and rushed? And what's different? What would be different about your workday? Would you notice any clarity or focus instead of constant pressure or difficulties with making decisions or concentrating? And what would be different about the way you are handling stress? Would you be responding intentionally instead of reacting automatically? How would your energy levels change, and what might be helping you to maintain your energy levels? And what would be there actually if there wasn't any fatigue, if there wasn't tiredness? Which feelings, which experiences you would like to have instead, and what was helping you in the past to achieve this uh, desired outcome, even for a while, maybe for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe for hours. And what made it possible? What was there about you that helped you to achieve this outcome, to approach this calmness or energetic version of you, patient, calm, relaxed version of you? Which environments, which people, which relationships, and which qualities of you made it possible? And what difference did it make for you in the past when maybe you were still successful, you were still doing what you need, but you felt energized, and stress and responsibilities were not impacting you negatively and draining you so much? And what would be the first small sign you notice that tells you things are being different, and you are approaching to this energized, calm, calm version of you in the future? Now, these are questions from solution-focused brief therapy, which was developed by Elliot Coney and Adam Freuer. And asking yourself these questions, and by using these questions, we are helping the people to discover their own resources, capability, resilience, and helping them to realize what might help for them, since everyone is unique and everyone's experiences, needs are unique. We cannot know what might help people. That's why asking them these questions might help them to find out their own resilience and to find sources that might help them to overcome these challenges and achieving the version of them that they want to achieve. So let's talk more about HPA axis rigidity. Maybe the people who are experiencing burnout may feel energetic, focused, and unstoppable, like you are powering through your day with constant drive. And on the surface, it feels like strength, but the energy might be illusionary, and your body still might be in a fight mode all the time, which suppresses essential functions like digestion, immunity, or cellular repair. And this is the classic wired but tired state. Your mind is alert, but your body is quietly exhausted. That's why maybe it's difficult to relax even when you want to. And for high performing people like you, stillness might feel like sorry, stillness might feel like vulnerability, like when you want to relax, maybe when you want to rest, you might blame yourself, you might feel guilty that you don't have time and you are not working at this time. And being idle might trigger the nervous system to go on alert, and you may catch yourself thinking, I should check my emails, I need to prepare for meetings. And these aren't just habits. Your nervous system is scanning for possible threats and trying to regain control and avoid uncertainty. Think back to moments when you were able to truly rest, even for a while, maybe while walking, maybe while reading something, maybe while creating something, or spending time with someone whom you value, you trust. What was different in those moments? What helped your mind and body to relax even briefly? These are valuable moments, and they are clues that your nervous system actually can recalibrate, can rest, can relax, and just you only know how, you already know what works, and you can use these resources and strategies again to support yourself in these challenging moments. Imagine a day where your body and mind are both in balance. For instance, picture yourself walking as rested and energized, but not because cortisol is forcing you awake, but because your body is genuinely feels ready. And ask yourself, how would my morning feel if my mind didn't immediately jump to work or task? What would you be doing if you were feeling energized and you were feeling strong, and your mind wasn't telling you that you constantly need to work and overstudy? How would you spend your breaks if your nervous system allowed you to truly rest and to enjoy? And what small signals would you notice that tell you that your body and mind are finally uh, resting? And how would your energy feel at the end of the day? Would you still feel productive and not depleted? And noticing these moments when your mind automatically begins thread scanning and gently redirecting yourself and your attention to these exceptional moments and strategies can help you to find your own resilience and strategies and insights about what might help you to relax and to energize and to heal. And over time, these small steps can retrain your nervous system and your brain to recognize safety and allow genuine rest, all without sacrificing your high performance edge. Chronic stress might lead to uh, permanent changes in the brain. For instance, for people who had traumas or who had chronic stress, their amygdala, responsible for fear and threat processing, might be larger due to constant activation. It can be hyperactive, while prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functioning, might look thinner. And this explains why people become increasingly reactive or less creative, and biologically their brain has shifted from creative mode to survival mode. And this also explains the hypersensitivity, why they might react more sensitively and might get angry easily. And most high performers assume the role of compliant, reliable, successful child during childhood. For them, success is not just a goal, but an emotional insurance policy, and beliefs like, if I'm always ahead, if I'm always successful, no one will catch me unprepared, if I'm always productive. Or it may be also related with some experiences they had in their childhood. Maybe it become like a habit for them to overwork. Maybe they were given love or experienced love just when they were overworking, and there might be some beliefs about themselves, what beliefs they have about their identity. There might be some wrong beliefs that if I'm not overworking, I'm worthless, I'm useless, and all of this would keep your nervous system in early life as hyper vigilant. And this is described in the literature as trauma driven overachievement. And with these people, rest is not a luxury but an existential threat, because stopping means confronting internal inadequacy and suppressed emotions. So maybe they had some very challenging emotions in childhood that they don't want to experience again. And from top CEOs to award-winning artists, many high performers live with the fear one day everyone will realize how incompetent I really am. And if a person has achieved high levels of success, it can be like the desire to maintain this level of success and might be turned into fear, like what would happen if I will not be able to maintain the same level of success, what will happen if I would fail, or even if there is evidence of their success and resilience, brilliance, they might be experiencing imposter syndromes where despite objective success, people attribute achievements to luck, chance, or deceiving others. And in 2024-2025 data shows that 71% of all CEOs regularly experience this feeling. And imposter syndrome tend to fall into five archetypes. First of them, they are focusing not only on outcomes but on flawless processes. Any small error can be considered as failure or catastrophe, and they might feel inadequate if unable to do something perfectly on the first try. Their views asking for help. They view asking for help or support as weakness, and they believe that they should do everything alone, and they are trying to know everything, to learn everything, and any possible knowledge gaps cause shame or uncomfortable feelings, anxiety, and they can be seen an attempt to manage all roles, for instance, social roles, family roles, work roles, and responsibilities perfectly, and eventually this might be one of the reasons leading to burnout. So this constant fear of being discovered drives the people to work more, overwork, not with the passion, but panic, silently, silently harming their psyche and making burnout inevitable. So what can be done in this situation is that maybe reminding yourself what was driving you, what was motivating you, like what is the source of your actions, why are you doing this, what was different during the times when you were enjoying your job, what was really helping you to feel that you were doing something meaningful, and how it might look like if there was love or kindness or your passion instead of fears or panic or anxiety. So catching those moments when you were able to experience these feelings through connection with yourself, the source of love or motivation or kindness, and slowly trying to bring or inviting those versions of you into your daily life, into your work, might slowly help to decrease burnout and imposter syndrome and other challenges you might have that are driven by fears, anxiety, or past experiences. For instance, think about moments when you allowed yourself to make a mistake and to ask for help or step back without feeling exposed. What was different about those moments? These exceptions are proof that balance is possible for you in your life. And imagine a future where imposter syndrome doesn't control you. Picture yourself performing at your best while feeling confident, secure, and human. And ask yourself, how would I approach tasks if I could accept imperfection without shame? What would it look like to ask for help without guilt or fear of judgment? How would I manage my work, family, and social life without running on panic or felt energy? And how would I celebrate my achievements and recognize my own contribution? How would my daily thoughts and internal dialogue sound if I truly trusted my abilities? Modern business pressure of doing more with less triggered a new workforce crisis in 2025 called quiet cracking. Quiet cracking occurs when an employee appears extremely engaged and productive externally while their motivation, emotional connection, and psychological health erode internally. And research shows that 54% of all employees experience this. Quiet cracking can be differ from quiet quitting. Quiet quitting is a conscious act of setting boundaries, where quiet cracking is an involuntary emotional collapse, and people still perform optimally, attend meetings, deliver projects, by entirely depletes their emotional reserves. And greatest risk of quiet cracking is that organizations' most valuable assets, high performers, can suddenly become non-functional and without warning. And this internal collapse behind the productivity mask often leads to emotional constipation, where the person has suppressed so much that they can neither cry nor laugh and continue to function like a frozen shell. For high performers, rest is often useless advice. Their mind codes relaxation as a threat, and instead struggle approaches are needed to retrain the nervous system and break the unhealthy link between achievement and self-worth. So if burnout were to decrease, what would be filling its space? What would you like to experience instead? Is it the energized version of you? Is it the happy version of you? A calm version of you? No problem lasts for 24 hours. There are always times when, even for those with severe imposter syndrome or burnout, that there are some moments when you felt sufficient, when you felt calm, when you felt connected to meaning, when you felt relaxed. And highlighting those proves the solution already exists within this person. So sometimes healing might look like sitting for 5 minutes daily without purpose or productivity, and each time when your mind reminds you that you are wasting your time, you can slowly remind your mind that I'm training my nervous system, that this is most important task right now. And slowly you will teach your brain that you are slowly healing and learning to spend time to relax and to use for yourself. And for imposter feelings, reviewing a folder of objective achievements or asking similar questions as I asked in the session, like what were your achievements, when were times when you succeeded, and reminding yourself about those moments uh, can help to realize that these are just thoughts, and there is a lot of evidence of your brilliance and resilience and success. And for energy management, determining which tasks, for instance, are more important, and maybe adjusting to 80% of effort rather than 100% might help, at least to decrease some workload and to create a time for yourself to energize, recharge. And removing this mask of appearing strong in safe environments, near people whom you can trust, whom you love, whom you feel close to, and sharing your challenges, your feelings, your struggles can help to break isolation and help to calm your nervous system and to recharge again. So this journey for high performers often begins with applause and success, but usually continues with silent burnout. And main takeaway from the analysis is this destructive factor is not success itself, but using success as a survival mechanism or source of self-worth. However, the good news is that there are a lot of strategies, type of therapies and support available that you can use. And you can start by asking yourself these questions: what you really need, what are your needs, and how you would like to feel instead if you were not feeling burnout. Or reminding yourself of those moments when you felt stronger, more resilient, energized, happy, and calm, or however you want to feel, and reminding yourself what made that possible, how did you achieve it, what was there about you that helped to achieve, and also thinking about your resources that you already have, and using those resources to help yourself to calm down, and asking yourself how it might look like. What would you notice if you were slowly healing, if things were getting better, if you are feeling more energized, if you are enjoying things, and slowly trying those things that you think might help can by time help you to heal, to feel better, and to regain your energy levels by decreasing burnout. And also, as we have mentioned, using relationships that help you to feel safe, to energize, and decreasing your workload, asking for help from people who can help you around you, and scheduling some maybe personal time to sit with yourself and think about your needs. These are some evidence-based strategies and research-driven data that helps that was found helpful, and I hope this webinar helped you. If you have any questions on these topics, or if you want to learn more, don't forget to follow my channel, and see you in the next videos. Take good care of yourself. Bye.